Hey everyone, and welcome. So, if you're in the SAP world, you've definitely run into this problem. How in the world do you actually create a proper audit trail for your custom apps, your Z programs, and all those Z tables? It's a huge deal for compliance, but honestly, the right answer isn't always that obvious. Today, we're going to fix that.
So here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off by busting a really common myth that trips up, well, pretty much everyone. Then we'll dive into the right tools for the job in the classic on-premise ABAP world for both tables and programs. After that, we'll switch gears and head to the cloud to talk BTP apps. And we'll wrap it all up with a super simple cheat sheet so you'll walk away knowing exactly what to use and when. So this is the big question, isn't it? Your auditors are breathing down your neck, compliance standards need it, and you just need a solid way to track who changed what and when. But here's the kicker. In the rush to get anything in place, a lot of folks grab the completely wrong tool for the job. And that right there leads us to the heart of the problem. There's this one tool, the SAP Audit Journal, that on the surface looks like the perfect one-size-fits-all solution. But as you're about to see, using it for your custom logs is, well, it's a big mistake. So many people see the name SAP Audit Journal and think, aha, that's it. That's where I'm supposed to put my logs. But no way. The most important thing to get here is that this is a read-only financial report. It's built to look at standard financial documents that are already in the system. You literally cannot write your own custom events to it. It's just not what it's for.
Okay, so if the audit journal is off the table, what should we be using? Let's start with the familiar on-premise world and figure out how to properly audit changes to our custom Z tables.
For your Z tables, you've got two fantastic options, and they're for different situations. Over on the left, you have table logging. Think of this like a big, wide net. You flip a switch, and boom, it captures every single change to that table. It's super simple, but just be warned, it can create a ton of data. On the right, we've got the official SAP standard method, change document objects. This is more like a surgeon's scalpel. It's precise. You pick exactly which fields you care about, giving you this perfect, clean audit trail for your most critical data. Turning on table logging is honestly about as easy as it gets. You just pop into transaction SE11, go to the table's technical settings, and check a box. That's it. Now, there is one little catch. Your basis team needs to have the rec/client system parameter turned on. But once they do, you're good to go, and you can see all the logs in transaction SCU3. Now, change document objects. This is where things get a bit more hands-on. And this is a really important difference. It's not just a switch you flip. After you set up your object in SCDO, you actually have to go into your ABAP code and call special function modules. You have to tell the system, hey, a change is happening right now. Please log the before and after values. It's definitely more work up front, but the payoff is that you get total control and a perfectly tailored audit trail. Okay, so that's data changes covered. But what about the stuff happening inside your custom programs? The business logic. We're talking about important events like, hey, the program started, or whoops, a validation failed, or mass update successfully completed. How do you log that? For that job, the answer is just so simple and clean. You use the application log. It is the standard purpose-built tool for capturing all those important messages and events from your custom Z programs.
And getting it working is a pretty simple three-step dance. First, you do a quick one-time setup in transaction SLG0 to give your log a name. Then, inside your ABAP code, you just call a few standard function modules to create the log, add your messages, and save it. And finally, anybody who needs to can jump into transaction SLG1 to see all those messages with really powerful ways to filter and search. All right, we have totally nailed the on-premise world. But what happens when we're building shiny new apps on the business technology platform on BTP? The whole architecture is different, right? So it makes sense that the tool is going to be different too. For all your BTP apps, the correct tool is the SAP BTP Audit Log Service. Now, the key idea here is that this is a platform service. Your logs don't live inside your app's little database. Nope. They're sent off to a central, super secure service that the platform itself manages. It was built from the ground up to handle exactly these kinds of auditable events. And using it feels very modern and cloud native. So you can forget about transaction codes. Instead, you just bind your application to an instance of the audit log service. Then, in your code, whether that's Java, Node.js, whatever,
You use the Cloud SDK to fire off your audit messages. And when it's time to check the logs, you just use a nice Fiore app right there in the BTP cockpit.
Now, hang on. There is one absolutely critical, you must know this detail about the BTP Audit Log service. By default, your logs are only kept for 90 days. That's it. After 3 months, they are gone. Poof. Automatically and permanently deleted.
So what does this actually mean for you? It means that if your company's rules say you need to keep audit data for a year, or 5 years, or 7 years, the default service is not enough. You have to have a plan. You need to use the Retrieval API to regularly pull those logs out of BTP and stick them somewhere safe for long-term storage. Phew, okay. We have covered a lot of ground, from old school ABAP all the way to the BTP cloud. So let's bring it all home and wrap this up with a simple summary to make sure you're always picking the right tool for the job. This table right here, this is your cheat sheet. This is everything you need to remember. If you need to log changes to a custom table in S4, don't even think about the audit journal. Use change document objects or table logging. If you're logging events inside a custom ABAP program, your go-to is the application log. And for any custom app you build on BTP, the one and only right answer is the SAP BTP Audit Log service. Simple as that. So there you have it. The complete toolkit for creating real, robust, compliant audit trails for all of your custom SAP work. Which really just leaves one last question. Now that you know exactly which tool to use for which job, which of your applications is going to be the first one to get the audit trail it's always deserved? Thanks for joining me.